Hello, everybody. Thank you all for coming out to the Goddess Tulsa show. I'm your host, Mother Queen Tulsa. If you are not subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you are subscribed, thank you for subscribing. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you also. Tonight, we will be doing a recap on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 14, episode 16. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and give you that warm commercial, and we'll be right back. Hello and welcome. Thank you for tuning in to Goddess Tulsa After Dark. This is where you let your hair down, get you a beverage, prop your feet up or down. Now it's time to hit the like. Are you subscribed? Don't forget to hit that cash app because it's After Dark with the Goddess. Okay, so first and foremost, y'all. Actually, this episode was interesting. It was definitely a lot of people were getting challenged. And I say that would be Sheree, Marlo, Kenya, um, and really Sanya. This episode was definitely I can't wait until the next episode. I'll definitely say that. So of course when it first had come on, it was Candy's time. So pretty much her son Ace had come on and he was just pretty much showing I guess it was like an they were making an audition tape or something for him because now Candy actually has him in acting class as child. And so it was a live audition tape. It was cute. It was fun. It was family oriented. Okay, whoop de bam. Then you have Marlo preparing for the boys to come home, as it's been a month. And so, she's on the phone with her sister, and they're pretty much going back and forth about, um, you know, them. Do they know that they're coming home? Because they weren't going permanently; they were only going for a temporary stay. So the kids, they were not interested in chores. Um, and Marlo pretty much says that she'll have a plan when they come home, to give them, I guess she needed time for herself, wanted to give them like a tough love. And so, that was that. Drew, so then it goes over to Drew. Drew's still not walking because she wanted to have her moment out in New York. I mean, out in Jamaica. So of course y'all know Marlo and Drew, had like a face off, a runoff or whatever. And so Drew actually lost. And so Drew actually wanted to get her moment and end up tearing something in her foot. And so so Sheree shows up and Samia shows up, to check on her to see how she's doing, and pretty much doing like girl talk, but then it gets really messy because Sia acknowledged Kenya is definitely not the one. And so she's like, Kenya checks me like 3 times. And, they play the clips where Kenya is on there and she's definitely giving the clips, giving the rundowns. And so Sheree brought up that Kenya was saying that Ralph was aggressive, when they were in Jamaica and he stood up at the table. Well, Kenya wanted to run with the narrative that that man was aggressive towards women. And that really struck Sanya in not a good place. So she's like, well, she has 3 strikes. And so she decides to give Kenya a call. And so Kenya answers the phone. And, of course, Sonia says, well, I have a problem with this. And Kenya says, well, give me a moment so I can wake up. So they end up having it out on the phone and end up hanging up. So Kenya is actually helping Sheree, the bone collector, with her fashion show. And so I feel like it was a little odd that, if you knew that you were gonna be using her to help you with your fashion show, why talk down on her? But Kenya, she put on her big girl panties and pretty much said that, okay, I'm gonna get my moment in another way. And y'all know Kenya's good for that. So when it comes to Sheree, she has a fashion model call, and she uh, says that she has $1 million budget. Child, Sheree said that she had $1 million budget, and the girls just wasn't understanding like how that was possible. You know, she said yes, it was $1 million. And so let's just go ahead and say this. Kenya went ahead and put Sheree on blast, being that she was on a budget at her model call. And like I said, she said that it was $1 million budget. And, Kenya definitely ran it. Sheree was unprepared. Shout out to Kenya for really getting down there and making these girls work for the money. It seemed like this season is work for the money or go home, you know? And so we got to definitely shout out to the girls that are making these ladies work for the money. Okay, so actually, we're going to take a quick commercial break and then we'll get into our second segment. Hello and welcome. Thank you for tuning in to Goddess Tulsa After Dark. This is where you let your hair down, get you a beverage, prop your feet up or down. Now it's time to hit the like. Are you subscribed? Don't forget to hit that cash app because it's After Dark with a Goddess. Okay, so listen. So now we are on and over to Ralph. So Ralph is at his book cover photo shoot. And so Drew and her mom are just clueless. I mean, they are just sitting there. They don't have an itinerary of what's going on. And even if they did, they have no understanding of what's going on, because it seems like Ralph did this like on the low, you know, and like Drew said, oh, he wants me to write his lines or the first part of the book or, the introduction or whatever. And, long story short, her mom is shocked, surprised, and confused all in one. It's like an airbag. You know how airbag deploy? Well, this is how news broke about his book. It was like an airbag, unexpected. And so then they get on to the adoption. Drew wants Ralph to adopt her son. I mean, she's like really nudging and pushing. I mean, she even compared like why, well, we're married, or tried to compare that to the decision. Marlo nephews are back. Her nephew agreed, about the structure. He had some appreciation for it. So no matter if we liked it or not, he did learn something from it. And not only that, they have flip phones. So, it's pretty much she's just teaching them how to work for what they want and earn it back. And so when things get tough, she tells them to keep going. And, they are young men. They seem like they are, upstanding young Black men. They just need some guidance. But for them to know, keep going in a time of hurt, confusion, or just uncertainty, to remember Auntie Marlo said, keep going. That's definitely wise words. Shout out to Marlo. And shout out to her for providing tutors. It feels good for the boys to be back. They said that, to be in a clean bathroom, to have their own bed and pretty much structure. And so a lot of people were really tearing in on Marlo. When Marlo said, I've got to give my nephews a break. I need a break. That's exactly what she meant. And so Shout out to her for instilling some morals and values into these young kings, you know? Shout out to Marlo. Okay. So, Marlo and Kenya birthday party surprise. Sheree arrives to the party, child. Okay. Sheree arrives to the party, love. And girl, Sheree was not happy. Honey, Sheree was complaining about the fashion show first and foremost. You know, her fashions and she wants it to be a success, and which is understandable because Sheree has been going for this She by Sheree for a long while now. So it's definitely time for her to produce. Okay, so let's just get into it. Sheree says it's a bit too much money for me, and Sheree don't like to pay. And they started playing clips of people in the past. Sheree don't like to pay. Sheree don't like to pay, and then even when it was a situation, who gonna check me, boo? Oh yeah. Well, it seems like Sheree is getting checked in person and in her face. Sheree isn't paying for bright ideas, is what she says. She says, I am not paying for no bright ideas. Like, girl, you went out here and got these balloons. And, girl, you could have just got a happy birthday sign and called it a day. Sheree said, girl, I'm not with it. So Sheree also says that, she's pretty much going to send Drew like majority of the bill because she's saying that I didn't agree to all this. I wasn't trying to go all out, and whatever. So Sheree's outsourced. She doesn't have all the pieces. Some nice, some incomplete. So Sheree is really having a hard time, child. Okay. She is really, really, really trying to really deliver. And really, can you be upset at Sheree? No, because Sheree has been in this game for a long time, child. And it's going to get better. Listen, Sheree is one thing I love about Sheree. Sheree is from Ohio. Honey, she is with the mess, honey. And she knows how to get down in the gutter. Okay. She says the samples, she can lie to a child. She says some samples are stuck in Alaska. The samples that are stuck in Alaska are different from the production in LA, because this is a whole production that she has going on. Hello, Evolution 101. Thank you for coming by. We're giving a review on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 14, episode 16. Did you watch? All right. So Kenya Marlo shows up, honey. Now that was everything. When Kenya and Marlo showed up, Lord God, they looked amazing. This is what they all wore to the party, to the birthday celebration. They both drove their Rolls Royce, and it was just when they did that, like in that moment, Kenya rose up in her Rolls Royce, Marlo rose up in her Rolls Royce. That scene right there brought back the old memories of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. When it was just like fancy, fabulous, everybody's rolling up in their fancy cars, and looking glam, dressed to the T, not a hair out of place, that this right here, this gave that. This definitely gave that. Okay. And so King and Marlo throwing shade and surprise. It was a celebration for both of them. And it was so funny because King was like, I didn't want to share my birthday with her. And it was cute banter, to say the least. Okay, so Drew says we don't want Kenya and Marlo to be at odds. And so, of course, Kenya, she picks up on things really quickly. And her comeback and her snapbacks are just really it. Like she's definitely the it girl. And so, oh, excuse me, she's that girl. And so, Kenya, says, okay, is this a birthday party or an intervention? And so, I appreciate Kenya for her bluntness and just her raw energy because it's like, okay, if we're going to talk, let's talk, and we going to have to bring up some of the past because some of the past, there were hurtful things that were said. You know what I mean? There were hurtful things that were said. And so let's just set that straight. So now they're at the dinner table. The menu was everything. I believe they had like lamb chops. They had like a salad. It was given. Like it's the girl's affair. Like girls just want to have fun. It was given that. Okay. So they play a game. Sonya broke the chair. So it was pretty much, they ask this and the ladies respond. So you can respond. If you don't respond, then you take a shot. So Sanya responded, I believe it was about Kenya. And, she pretty much got it out there. And so then Sheree gives invitations. So she has invitations with, it looks like a Barbie setup. Like if you've ever gotten like a Barbie doll for Christmas or whatever, but it was like a Barbie doll invitation. Um, so she gives the girls invitations with outfits, like a Barbie setup, like Barbie clothes or whatever. And so I thought that was cute or whatever. I was like, okay. So, 100 fashion show has no fashions. Okay, so she's had like over, child. Let's just pray that Sheree gets her fashions in because Sheree is saying, oh, some fashions are in LA, some are lost in production in Alaska. But, let's just say this. Marlo Candy says Sheree just wants a party. She's not really serious about her fashion show because it seems like, she's not really prepared. She's not really engaged, and they don't feel like she's really taking this serious. And it seems like she's trying to do things at the last minute. So you know how that goes. Sheree asked Drew's mom to pray for her fashion show, and you know what? Can you blame her? You really can't. Shout out to Sheree. Now listen here, guys. Now this is where things take a turn because this thing that came up with a plan, child. Oh yeah, listen, Sheree came up with a plan, and her plan, she came up with girl. She met with Apollo, child, and child, $1 million spent, child. She told Apollo. She didn't told Kenya. She didn't told Apollo. I done spent $1 million on this fashion show. I don't know if it's for this fashion show or if it was all together. I don't know if she was speaking too soon or she was just had everything running together. I've done it before. Hey, I can relate. So, she sits down with Apollo. They get to talking, and she just pops the question. Apollo will be added to the list. So there was an open call. There were guys there. Apollo wasn't one of them. Apollo is here, as you can see in this private meeting. Okay, honey, and it's like a conjugal visit or whatever you call it. It's like a jailhouse visit because it was not only talk about him modeling for her show. It was pretty much about Phaedra as well. He said Phaedra left him to be unalived. She wasn't allowing him to see his kids, and Phaedra was worried about her good name. Phaedra said, my good name, honey. She said, I'm worried about my good name. But y'all, they went back and forth on that, and child, guess who came up? I think you better call Tyrone. Call him. Girl, yes. Tyrone. So in prison, Apollo and Tyrone, I don't know if they was passing in the shower. I don't know if I don't know how they was engaging. I don't know if it was the late night tales, the late night freaky tales, or commissary time, or you know what I'm saying, or next. Y'all don't know how, but yeah, Apollo and Tyrone was in prison together, child. So pretty much, him and Tyrone had conversations, child. I want to know if like they were like where were these conversations going? Were they going on at a card game? Were they going on at, was it bedtime story time? Was it recess? I want to know when did y'all have these conversations? I'm just curious. So then he says, he gets out. She waited at a restaurant in Philly and got ghosted. But Sheree, you knew he wasn't coming. That man was on probation, and he could not be at no alcohol establishment where they were giving out alcohol, honey. So that's that. So, like I said, Apollo explains jail talk and all of the things with the girl. And that was pretty much that season. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link if you all want to come up, sound off, and give your opinion on what you got from this episode, how you felt about it. Do you feel like Marlo has been vindicated, now that her nephews are back? I really want to know. What do you guys think? So I'm going to go ahead and pin the link. And I'll go ahead and just give you guys a little one-on-one. You guys can donate to my GoFundMe. You guys can donate to my Cash App. It's only a suggestion, not a command. An update on me. I am still in pain. I'm not okay. And I'm just taking it one day at a time. That's really all I can do. But I did have to come live and give my commentary. I did just watch the show. That's what I got from it. And also, I'll be reviewing the show Waka and Tammy. That show has definitely come out, and that show is really taking a turn right now as well. So if you guys have not watched or caught up, definitely catch up so we can review it together. But if we don't have anybody that wants to come up, sound off, we'll go ahead and end the show here. I want to thank you all for coming out to the Goddess Tulsa show. I'm your host, Mother Goddess Tulsa. So, thank you all for coming out and have a great night. Mother Queen Tulsa is out the building, y'all. Hello and welcome. Thank you for tuning in to Goddess Tulsa After Dark. This is where you let your hair down, get you a beverage, prop your feet up or down. Now it's time to hit the like.